Los Angeles, the city famous for sparkling dreams and neon glamour, is slowly transforming into a nightmare. Those who gave everything chasing the California dream now find themselves trapped in darkness. Once bustling streets are now filled with flimsy tents, the stench of trash blending with desperation. Some areas have even turned into no-go zones, places so dangerous even police avoid stepping in. Once a shining capital of cinema and endless possibilities, LA now looks like a terrifying movie without a director. And the main characters? They once had homes, jobs, and paid taxes, but today they sleep under bridges in the shadows of gleaming skyscrapers. But even scarier is the harsh truth lurking behind this crisis. A cruel system that forces the weakest to pay the highest price. In this video, you'll witness chilling footage of homelessness that's never been revealed before. Stay until the very end, because this isn't just another story about poverty. It's a wake-up call for Los Angeles and the future of America. Are you ready to see glamorous Los Angeles from a shocking new angle? Let's dive in right now. There was a time when the mere mention of Los Angeles brought visions of sun-kissed boulevards, Hollywood's dazzling lights, and dreamy afternoons by the Pacific coast. LA wasn't just a city. It was a promise. Work hard, and you'd have a home, a future, and a community embracing you warmly. But today, returning to these streets might leave you stunned. Beneath the neon glow of Hollywood billboards are shaky tents lining sidewalks, shopping carts overflowing with someone's entire life possessions. Places once vibrant, movie theaters, shops, gas stations, are now makeshift camps sheltering shattered dreams under thin blankets. Imagine this: 75,000 people without homes. That's nearly the entire population of Santa Fe, New Mexico, living on LA's streets. It's no longer a warning. It's a terrifying reality, a number growing relentlessly, despite billions spent on emergency programs. Yet, numbers can't capture everything. They don't show the raw feeling of loss in someone who once had stability, a solid job, a decent home, some savings, but is now forced to sleep in cars or street corners. This tragedy isn't sudden. It's a chain reaction of misfortunes, an accident, an unpaid medical bill, or a sudden $200 rent hike. Every street corner in Los Angeles tells the story of workers, immigrants, and everyday people who believed their efforts would bring reward. Now, they're being pushed out of the city they built with their own hands. A homeless electrician in Westlake said, "I used to be an electrician in the film industry. I set up the lights for someone else's dreams. As for my dream, it now lies in that dark alley." For countless residents, the feeling isn't just anger, it's deep pain. They helplessly watch the city they once trusted with their futures crumble right before their eyes. Many avoid looking directly at the homeless, terrified they'll see their own faces reflected in the exhausted people lining sidewalks. Sadly, those fears aren't distant possibilities. They're becoming real. Even people from the middle class are now forced to live in cars, stay temporarily with friends, or wait endlessly for overwhelmed housing programs. Instability isn't just someone else's problem anymore. It's reaching every neighborhood, every community, and could soon affect your closest friends, or even you. The American dream never guaranteed an easy ride, but it did promise hard work would lead to a fair chance. But today, for thousands in Los Angeles, that chance is disappearing day by day. Skyrocketing costs, the shortage of affordable homes, and a lack of real solutions have pushed opportunity further away than ever before. So, if even Los Angeles, once a symbol of new beginnings, isn't safe anymore, where in America can people turn when they find themselves dangling between hope and despair? But there's a deeper pain you don't immediately see until you look into the eyes of elderly residents living in the heart of Los Angeles. These are the faces of people who once had comfortable homes, warm dinners, and an American dream built from scratch. Now, they sleep on benches, huddle beneath supermarket awnings, or lie motionless under thin blankets in the bitter chill of homeless nights. An 80-year-old veteran sits alone inside a broken RV on a dusty Los Angeles street, and the nightmare around him grows darker every night. Wendell gave 60 years of sweat to his country and his craft. A chain of tragedies took his wife and 2 sons, leaving him with only a daughter-in-law and 2 small grandchildren. Hoping to keep them afloat, he sold his last house, a loving act that cost him every piece of security he had. Now Wendell sleeps in a rusting RV that will not start, parked at the curb while traffic roars past. Each sunset means a silent battle against danger, cold, and the fear that someone might break in. One night, he even clashed with another homeless man and was hurt so badly that working became impossible. The injury forced Wendell to survive on a single thread, the Social Security check that barely reaches $1,200. I get $1,200 a month and you can't buy food and live in an apartment on $1,200 a month. No, you can't, he says, the words heavy with a truth too many ignore. That small payment cannot cover rent in modern Los Angeles. Wendell never complains, yet he holds one quiet wish: leave the city, head back near Bakersfield, work with his hands on a farm, and spend his last years in peace. Wendell's struggle is not an isolated tragedy. More than 17,900 people over 55 are homeless in LA County, nearly 1/4 of everyone living on the streets. The 65-plus group is now the fastest-growing slice of this crisis, proving that those who once built America are the first to be forgotten. These elders are not freeloaders. They are not lazy. They simply ran out of strength and out of luck. They do not deserve to spend their nights in crumbling vehicles, digging through trash for dinner, jumping at every horn blast or angry shout. When the builders of this nation lie shivering on sidewalks, can we still claim the American dream belongs to everyone? If decades of honest living cannot guarantee a bed at sunset, who among us is truly safe? Step into Skid Row, a place missing from glossy travel ads, not because it is hidden, but because its truth is too painful to sell. Thousands cram into a few blocks, tents pressed together, air thick with the smell of waste, hope fading faster than daylight. After sunset, this stretch of street shifts into what feels like a post-apocalyptic film set. Only no director yells cut. Police cars circle the edges, yet few officers venture inside. It is not cowardice. It is an admission that what happens there no longer fits inside normal control. The darkness does not stop at Skid Row. Drive west to Venice Beach, once a playground of live music and painted faces, and the scene tilts into heartbreak. The waves still crash, but the boardwalk dreams have washed away, replaced by quiet despair and makeshift shelters that cling to the sand like driftwood. Neon dreams fade fast when coastal highways turn into rivers of tents, and the people inside them suddenly vanish from every system meant to protect them. Long rows of blue tarps now replace palm-lined roads, forming the final shelter for men and women who once held jobs, families, and solid plans. It's hard to get general relief without an ID. People steal everything here, one man mutters. No ID, no address, no bank account. In a land that bragged about leaving no one behind, he and thousands like him are now invisible. Beneath Hollywood's sparkle lie 2 gaping wounds: Skid Row and Venice Beach. One feels like life hanging by a thread in piles of trash, the other like a broken postcard drowned in silence and misery. Even worse, fresh dead zones keep spreading from tourist avenues to sunlit boulevards, turning them into open-air dormitories. The barrier separating housed residents from the homeless has collapsed. One layoff, one illness, or one sudden rent spike, and anyone could join the next line of invisible neighbors. The American dream is cracking like peeling paint on abandoned walls. Can a society that cannot shield its weakest still call itself a community worth living in? Sometimes you don't need a map to feel the divide. Cross 3 blocks in Los Angeles and witness a shiny Lexus outside a Michelin hotspot while, across the street, an older woman digs through scraps, eyes searching for something long lost. Here everything is costly. Not only rent, but the very right to live like a human. Average rent now tops $3,000 for a shabby apartment, enough to swallow an entire paycheck for many retirees or hourly workers. Stats reveal a person must clock more than 112 hours a week at minimum wage just to cover rent. No one, especially someone over 65, can labor that many hours after a lifetime of promised security. And rent is only step one. A simple supermarket meal can reach $20. Auto insurance climbs above $2,000 a year. Utility bills soar during blistering summers and icy winters. One uninsured hospital visit can erase an entire month of savings. The terror hides not in the digits alone, but in the helpless stare of families watching prices rocket while paychecks stay frozen. People are not spending lavishly. They're merely trying to pay rent, raise kids, and keep lights on. Yet even that basic life now feels like a luxury reserved for the lucky. Pressure spreads fast. Someone who once lived alone now shares an apartment with 3 strangers. A healthcare worker skips days off, fearing lost wages will kill the power bill. A retired couple counts pennies, torn between medicine or heating gas. Has Los Angeles' legendary glamour begun devouring the very citizens who helped it shine? When safety itself becomes a privilege, what remains of a basic human right? A stark truth lurks. The middle class, the backbone of America, is vanishing in this city, not for lack of effort, but because effort no longer matches runaway costs. There was a time when steady work, careful saving, and loyalty to a job meant a house, a car, and stability downtown. Today, even teachers, nurses, office clerks, and police officers are pushed to the brink, sleeping in cars, sharing cramped flats, or driving hours each day just to serve a city they can't afford. If working heroes can't hold on, who can? And if a metropolis lets its pillars crumble, how long until the whole structure buckles? What if working full-time no longer protected you from poverty? In Los Angeles, that's no longer a what if, it's a reality. A new report from the California Housing Partnership revealed something shocking. To rent a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles, someone needs to earn $47.38 an hour, almost 3 times the minimum wage. That means even with 2 full-time jobs, each lasting 12 hours a day, you'd barely survive. Not save, not retire, not dream. Just survive. This harsh truth is breaking the backbone of what many believed in. Imagine doing everything right, holding down a job, following the rules, yet still having to cover your car windows to sleep safely overnight or wait in line for donated meals. It's no longer just the poor who struggle. The middle class, once the pride of American life, is slipping through the cracks. They're not poor enough to qualify for help, but they can no longer afford their lives. Caught in a dangerous gap, they live without any true safety net. One job loss, one surprise hospital bill, or one rent hike, and the fall begins. Slowly, silently, and for many, permanently. The American dream doesn't shatter instantly. It fades, like old paint on a rental wall passed from tenant to tenant, until nothing feels like home anymore. What's even more heartbreaking? The older generation. These are the people who once thrived in better times, who bought homes with 4 months of wages, who believed their children would live better than they did. Now, they watch as their own families teeter on the edge, struggling to stay afloat in a world that's moved on without them. So if even the middle class is no longer safe in Los Angeles, if teachers, nurses, and office workers are living in their cars, then who is safe? Who is left? Los Angeles was once a beacon of the American dream, a place where determination opened every door. But today, it's buckling under years of quick fixes, broken policies, and a crumbling system. And people are starting to ask, is the dream still alive, or is it already gone? Because the American dream was never just about owning a house. It was about having a place in society, a space to be respected, a second chance when you fall. But now, in LA, it's not just a housing crisis. It's a deeper collapse, a moral crisis. Veterans, teachers, and service workers, those who gave their lives to building this country, are now sleeping in their cars, under storefront awnings, or in crowded shelters. What could be more painful than seeing a generation that rebuilt America after wars and recessions now tossed aside, all because they couldn't keep up with rent, inflation, or the newest rules? Each new homeless camp isn't just a tent, it's a memory buried. The laughter once echoing through these streets has gone silent. Family-owned stores are closed. Neighborhoods where children once played now sit empty and lifeless. We believed money would solve it all. We believed that hiring more workers and creating more offices would fix the problem. But maybe we need to rebuild something deeper first. Trust, connection, community, and hope. People on the front lines, the outreach workers, the residents holding on, the unhoused still hoping. They don't need pity. They need a system that listens, a system that learns from mistakes, a system that puts people before appearances. There's still time, but only if there's the courage to change. The path forward isn't about more money. It's about a new mindset, one that puts people at the center, values transparency, and focuses on real solutions. Los Angeles was once the place where dreams were born. But if we don't act now, that dream could become a nightmare lasting for generations. So, is it too late to save the American dream in LA? Or is there still a chance, if we're willing to walk forward together? Los Angeles, once known for its lights, its second chances, its dreams that made the world envious, is now becoming the mirror of America's greatest disappointments. The city that welcomed so many is now a place where thousands fight just to survive. We can look away. We can keep walking past someone sleeping on the street without meeting their eyes. We can keep believing that this is someone else's problem. But how much longer until it becomes our problem, or our loved ones? We used to believe America gave everyone a fair shot. But when the symbol of that hope, Los Angeles, is breaking apart, does that dream still live? Or is it waiting for us, those who still care, to wake it back up? What do you think about the crisis facing Los Angeles? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with stories that matter. Thanks for watching. We created this video to show a real glimpse of life in LA and to spark honest, helpful conversations. All information, images, and data come from reliable public sources. This is not an attack, it's a reflection. We encourage you to explore, think, and question everything with an open heart and mind.